Well, first, this has been just some time coming. I think we've known of each other since 2017.
Yep, for sure.
And you actually was dope when I did the Selection Radio tour as well. You played the Bay Area show. It was you and Masego.
Yep.
Remember that?
Of course.
That was crazy.
I remember it well.
And that was at
Valentine's
10:15
Day.
Valentine's Day,
Yep.
man. What better lineup, man? Man, it's so tight.
Oh, that
Just
was
to think
beautiful,
back.
yeah.
I mean,
That disco ball.
the
they had
disco
going.
ball.
Yeah.
I mean, you were already like making noise, you know, and that's why I like requested you to be on that show with me.
Thank you, man.
You know, because it's so important to be able to present like the best next up, and that's something that I feel is really important, is like spotlighting the next up. And then at the time, Masego already had like Tadao with FKJ,
Right.
so he was starting to brew, and it's just really cool, man, seeing yourself and everybody that we kind of all came up with starting to really progress and really like build leverage now. And you know, as an independent artist, I just think it's super dope, man.
Thank you, man.
To watch the journey. So I just want
Means
to
a
show
lot.
that love and
Appreciate
respect.
that, man.
Welcome to LA. I know you just moved here.
Yep.
Officially. Right? And yeah, man, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. You know,
Yeah.
been working on the album. Just enjoying the sun in LA.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Of
good
course.
vibes.
Well, let's talk about this album, right? It's called Juice Box.
Yep.
Right? And I feel like that stems from early childhood, and there's obviously some significance to there.
Yeah.
Right? And even one of your recent singles, the second single you put out, it's all, was it Walking on the Moon?
Jumping off the moon.
Jumping off the moon,
Yep.
right? Yeah, is that all kind of coming from like just aspirations of you just, I don't know, like this verge of transitioning in your life and from a childhood dream?
It's funny because honestly, it wasn't really like, it didn't start like that. Like, I feel like the last album I made, I was more intent on like kind of delivering a message, like I guess that I was trying to convey. But for this, it's just like the best group of songs that I thought I could write in, you know, the year and a half that we've been writing them. So like, I just like juice boxes, honestly.
Yeah, you're just like, that's just what
And
you
it's
love.
just, you know,
Nah,
it's
okay.
just the best tunes that I could write, and I'm ready for it to be out.
Yeah,
I'm
and
excited for
you
people to
just
hear it.
turned 22, and
Yep.
so a lot of these records were written when you were 21, and I know you've been
Yes.
singing for quite some time, since you were about 11 years old, or like,
Yeah, I've been singing
since second grade,
forever.
actually.
Yeah, second grade.
You
is
started
when
playing the keys when you were 11.
when I was 11. Correct.
Yeah, and I know you went to Berkeley.
Yep.
I got a question. I noticed all the greats, all the dope young artists who go to Berkeley out in Boston, no pun, but they all drop out and end up doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? What's up
I don't
with
know.
that?
I mean, it's definitely, you know, for the time I was there, I made a lot of good friends, and like, you know, I don't regret being there at all.
Yeah.
But it's not a place where you can really like go for it. You can
Yeah.
hear about people, you know, telling you different ways they think you might be able to make it, but like there's no real
There's no formula.
Exactly. There's no
Yeah.
formula, and there's just like no knowing if you can really do it unless you try.
There's people though, obviously, that finished that
Yeah,
graduated.
yeah, of
and
course. I know a
got
bunch
it.
of people that graduated.
Okay.
but
I guess
there
it's
are no
that
a lot of
skew, that
dropouts,
ratio,
too.
a lot of dropouts, but
Absolutely.
I feel like those are the alternative. And no pun, if you went to Berkeley, whoever's listening or watching, you finish.
Oh, yeah,
respect.
no,
I
it's all
just
love.
I just noticed a lot of greats that come out of there, and it's kind of like they do things their way.
Absolutely.
And maybe that's just a testament and stuff. You got to go out and figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, you know, that was at least for my case.
And
I
hence
felt
why
like I
you're
had to
here.
go. Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah, man, and I know you just played Smoking Grooves. You just came off
Yep.
of tours. It's been shot. I think it's amazing too how your music has been taking you around the world.
Definitely.
You know, and I feel you're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, man.
You know, I would say this album coming out. When can we expect it? It's a lot more mature, right? I would say.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it's a lot more just developed song ideas. I tried to really write songs rather than just like create ideas on top of beats I was making, I guess. Yeah, wrote a lot on guitar, on keys. I wrote most of the last album on guitar, so I'm
Yeah.
back to, you know, just however I could catch the creativity just did it.
Yeah, and is there any of your friends or any other producers, co-writing with you, or is it just mainly?
Oh yeah, got a lot of pals on the new album. Got obviously those guys in there.
The Mac Ayres.
The Mac Ayres band, you already know. Chris, Declan, Jordan,
shout out.
Zach, my guys. Got Tiffany Goucher is on the record.
Shout out Tiffany.
Love her.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know that her and Sir are related. They're cousins.
Yes, true.
So that makes sense. I mean, she's so gifted.
Oh yeah, she's one of my favorites out right now. We got Ninth Wonder's gonna be on the album.
Wow.
We got Butcher Brown out of Richmond and like DJ Harrison.
Yep, I know them.
Yeah. Bunch of my favorite musicians, my pals.
You're a digger, man. You're a beathead, low key.
Because
you produce too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, let's actually get into some music. You tell me what we should get into in terms of it could be from the back catalog. Could be, I know you're inspired by D'Angelo, Stevie Wonder, MJ, and many others. So you tell me what we should get into.
I think a song of mine that a lot of people might have not heard from my SoundCloud catalog. Actually, it's called "She Won't Stay Long." Is one of my favorites, but I think more people could hear it.
All right, let's get into that right now. Once again, Mac Ayres selection, Beats 1, long overdue, finally connecting. All right, here we are back with Mac Ayres. It's our first time really connecting properly in person, and just like as a proper session, catching up over like music and conversation. And man, I'm just happy again to have you here. Selection Radio 417. What was the name of the song we just heard?
She Won't Stay Long.
When was that written?
I think I wrote it, I'd say about 2 years ago. When I was at school in Boston.
Yeah? Yeah. And you fully produced that as well?
Fully produced, yeah. Made it in my my apartment.
We were just, I know a lot of your music is written in your bedroom, but like we were just speaking right now about how you made so much heat that was never put up online outside of SoundCloud.
Right.
And isn't it a trip just to see the transition of how going from SoundCloud to streaming and just where things are at now. And I feel like a lot of artists don't feel as comfortable as just dropping music on SoundCloud so seamlessly, or like the way we wake up one day and just say, you know what, I'm gonna just upload it. Yeah. Now I feel like everything's a bit more calculated. Right?
Absolutely.
Do you feel that way?
No, definitely. And like that was one of the reasons that I gravitated towards SoundCloud in the first place. When I was like first, writing all the tunes, I didn't know about putting albums together, about putting stuff on major distributors. Like it was just the instant gratification of like, nice, like my Grammy can hear this song now. It's just like just on the internet in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's why I loved it, because I could just keep writing and keep putting stuff out.
Yeah. And just all of us, I feel like I use the term, and I talk about it only with people who have came out of SoundCloud, but I feel like there's definitely a select amount of us who have graduated from SoundCloud and have been able to shift our careers. We watched it happen with, at least back in my day, I'm 29 now. We came from MySpace, music,
right. Yeah, that's
transition to
sure.
Facebook. It's so crazy to hear. Damn, I'm getting old. Gonna go to Facebook and Mixcloud, Bandcamp. Bandcamp is still important.
I got my shit on Bandcamp.
To distributing and putting up like your ideas and selling your music independent as an artist. But now it's like through playlisting, everyone is kind of migrated there. SoundCloud kind of feels like a bit, it's only for the diggers and the deep heads.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for the general public, I feel everyone has switched over. Yeah. And it's just amazing to watch, again, yourself, people like Masego, FKJ, Smino, Goldlink, K Tronada, you know what I'm saying?
All out of
some Tom Mish.
Yeah.
How could we forget Tom Mish?
The early beat tapes.
And yeah, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And just to see that transit, Monty Booker,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's just amazing to see where people are taking it.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? I mean, a lot of these people are, you're shoulder to shoulder with them, and I feel like there's enough room for everybody to eat.
Absolutely.
It's not really a competition.
Yeah, no, and no way at all. Like I'm a I'm a very competitive person, but in terms of just like making music, like everybody's just a lot of those guys that you just said, like I know and I'm pals with. Masego's a good friend of mine. I mean, I just want the best for them, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it's really cool to see guys like that, and just like every couple months, it's like, oh shit, like you're really doing some cool stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't checked in a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, it's just cool to see, you know, people
Everyone,
that you
yeah,
love
on
this
tour,
winter.
yeah. Smino and I actually had that conversation where we were at Coachella and we had a moment where we were, you know, conversating, and he's just like, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, it was kind of, we were too forward where, you know, a lot of the major labels and people, general public didn't really get it, and now I feel like people have caught up to a point where I feel like now you are here. It's not like you're just next up. It's like you are in the moment, and people are looking to you. And I think you just do a great job as well of really showcasing yourself on social media, especially like on your Instagram.
Thank you.
You know, some people are very private about their creative process.
Absolutely.
But you're like, you do it. Like, I was looking, I was like, man, this guy, there was things I was like, oh, what song is this, or what idea is this? And it's just you just sharing your ideas on Instagram.
always.
And I feel like that's what people want to see.
Oh yeah, for sure.
People get inspired by that.
I love to encourage people. I mean, and obviously, music is something that I really love to do, and I think that it could probably do wonders for a lot of people.
Yeah, and like I know you play so many different instruments. You play the keys, you play the bass, you obviously sing, you produce, and then I know you've been, like you said earlier, this next album is really focused on, you know, you playing the guitar and you practicing. I think we can all hear it, just how comfortable you are.
Appreciate
and stuff.
that.
So I mean, that must feel good just to like go from just being self-taught and just being at this point now. In terms of the album, when do you think we can expect that?
I'd say by late July, early August.
Late July. Okay, so real soon.
Oh yeah, coming up.
Real soon. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into some more music, and then after that, pretty soon we're gonna have you. You know, obviously we have this beautiful setup behind us.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, and we're excited to hear you jam out and play some of your standout personal select choices. So right here on Selection Radio 417, Mac Ayres, Joe K, Beast One. Don't go nowhere. We just came out of two songs, two artists that inspire you. Stevie Wonder, that was called Creepin', and then we played some SV.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Slum Village, Players, one of my favorite songs off of Fantastic, Volume 2, and of course produced by the almighty Jay Dilla. JD was one of the reasons you started even producing.
Yep, 1000%.
I want to hear a Mac Ayres like beat tape, like the unreleased, like the lost tapes. You know,
there's actually one on Bandcamp from like.
For real? Shoot, I'm about to go on there right now.
Years ago when I was first getting into producing, I just like no singing, just beat tape.
Really?
Somewhere on Bandcamp, but you can find it.
You know, off of, I think the first song I really heard from you was Lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was from what, Drive Slow?
Yep,
and
first
then,
album. And
then off of Something to Feel, Next to You really hit me. I was like, this boy can sing. Cause it just had kind of like a Neptune's like essence to it. You know, that's what it reminded me of. Like, that gave me that feeling sonically. And then, you know, Omarion, a lot of people don't realize that Omarion, his voice is the intro to the Selection Radio.
I actually knew that, yeah.
And so he shout out Omarion, and shout out Orion as well. Sonny, you know, like they be listening to the show, and you know, he heard that song, and I remember he was like dancing to it. He was like doing some choreography. You know, he really expressed himself really dope. Yeah. And I thought
I actually had a session with him from, I think it probably came out of that, but yeah.
Really? How did that session come out?
It was cool. We were just, you know, getting ideas together. You know, he was telling us some shit, some stories about his life.
Nice.
It was cool.
It was dope. It was a good experience.
Definitely.
Has any other artists or like mentors or peers, like just people you kind of grew up listening, have they reached out, or anyone you're connected to?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, one of, if not my biggest mentor is definitely DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Shout out DJ Jazzy Jeff.
And 1,000 shout outs to DJ Jazzy Jeff, the Playlist Retreat, all those guys. Family. I love
What are one or two things that you've gained from being around them?
From being around those guys, I mean, just to always, I'd say the most important thing is just remember why I even like started doing shit like this. Like every time I've ever gone there, I always come home feeling really creatively refreshed because everybody there just really loves what they do, and it's just so easy to like get caught up in that energy and just enjoy yourself. And I mean, I love those guys.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I know that, you know, being there, because I've been there before as well.
Yeah.
And it's just such a creative incubator, creative hub of so many producers, amazing turntablist DJs.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know any DJs before that either. Like, because I mean, most of the guys I know are just musicians. Like, and I never thought you could jam with a DJ until I went there. And like, I met some really, really talented guys. Yeah, man. I love it. Shout out Jazzy Jeff as well. I mean, he's one of the OG goats, and absolutely.
he still connects with us, and he stays in tune.
Oh yeah, he lifts people up. He's one of the greatest people I've ever met.
That's love. Really. Damn, that's real.
Oh yeah.
What does it mean to you right now in terms of, because I know you're independent. What does that mean to you right now? And do you feel, you know, confident and strong about where you're at right now? I mean, you're doing a lot right now independently, and I think it's amazing to watch.
Thank you, man. I mean, it's I think for a while I was not so confident about the situation for whatever reason, but in the past couple months, I mean, being independent for me really means just being my own boss and not having to go through anybody. Like, I get to make every creative decision, everything that I want to do, essentially, you know. And like, so it has been a lot of responsibility, I guess, more than I've had before, but like, it's so worth it to get the product that I want. That, I mean, I've just been trying to take it in stride and just make it regular for me, because I don't think it is yet. But.
I mean, how do you know you're independent? You know, I'm not sure with even though your management, but how does an artist, how are you able to get all of your creative, you know, like ideas out, and then still run your own business, put on your business hat, still, you know, you have your touring side, you have all these different elements. How do you do that? How do you keep it tight?
I mean, first thing is the team that you have around you. Like, I'm not gonna take all the credit for doing all of those things, you know.
So you have a team.
I have a booking agent that helps, and that's really it. I mean, it's just
when everything else is you create the creative direction.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. That's amazing.
Love, you know, I mean, it's been tough, but I mean, I like the feeling that I get from it, just the gratification of putting in the hard work and seeing that it's actually doing something and like progressing my career makes me feel really good.
That's good. Yeah, you're in ownership, you're in control of what you're doing, your work. So I love it, man. I gotta give you props on that.
Thank you so much, man.
Of course,
really
man.
Appreciate that.
I mean, shoot, I feel like this is just the beginning of a lot. I feel like we've really gone into depth of just you know, trying to get to know you a bit more, and us getting to connect with this music. I think it's time to get into the music, just like strictly from you on a live tip.
Let's do
you
it.
and your band. So what are some songs we're gonna hear?
We're gonna do the last single we put out, Jumping Off the Moon. We got another one called Summertime that'll be on the upcoming album off Juicebox, and an old one, Waiting from Something to Feel.
All right, you got it. So let's get into that. And once again, man, you're always welcome here.
Appreciate
definitely
you, man.
Gonna work on getting you on this selection experience. I'm calling that out right now.
Please, let's get it.
And yeah, man, let's do work.
Oh yeah,
appreciate
man.
it, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Mac Ayres. It's not the last time you're gonna hear from him. Pay attention. All right.